So last time I spent a few days up on Grand Mesa before I blew out my tire and had to go down into town to get a replacement tire and tube. So I rolled into Montrose, picked up a tire, and asked the store owner if I could stay a few days and explore rather than going back up into the hills. And this guy was so cool. Highland Cycles. This is where he let me park for almost 2 weeks, and got my tire and tube, and I actually replaced it in the bus. Several times I'd thought about doing something like this, but I thought there's the good and the bad about this, and it turned out it was almost all good. At least with a rear tire replacement, I think much of the other service might have been a bad idea, but this worked out really well, and I was really excited that I had this bench to work on, and I kind of used this as a model for several times beyond this, not just with motorcycle, but anything that I needed to work on. It's a great movable workbench. So after I got the bike buttoned up, it was time to go do some exploring, and I have been around the Black Canyon. I came around the Black Canyon in 2015, but I never actually went into the canyon, mainly probably because of the bus, and I'm not a huge fan of national parks because they've got way too many rules for me typically. But I did want to ride down into the canyon this time because I'd heard so much about the canyon before I went up there last year, and I wasn't really thrilled looking down into the canyon, so I thought it must be really spectacular to ride through, and indeed it was. It was truly spectacular, and I realized pretty quickly going down into the canyon why they didn't allow RVs, because it's a very narrow road. The turns were okay, but everything else was pretty narrow and tight. So I'm in the Black Canyon again. I was here last year, but I just rode around on the top rim. I probably wasn't in the park for probably more than 3 hours. Tons of wildlife up, more than I've seen in any one place. Elk, deer, just wall-to-wall critters. And I'm back in the canyon. I didn't get a chance to come down the canyon last year because they got a 22-foot limitation on vehicles. So no RVs, no long-ass buses, and that was a pretty cool bike. Anyway, it's awesome down here. I can't believe I missed out on this. I should have pulled the bike out last year. I think I was in a hurry for some reason. I don't know. I think the whole time I was driving around last year, I was in a freaking hurry, which is a shame. Last year, I decided that this was an awesome place, but kind of like the Grand Canyon, I could not get a good view. It was so dark down in here. Just didn't seem like the light, same as the Grand Canyon, just seemed like the light just wasn't hitting anything right. So it really didn't floor me. But being down here in the canyon, which is what I wanted to do last year, I wanted to come down in the canyon to get a better view of what's around down here, because it's kind of like looking in a dark hole, you know, looking down a well. That's really the feel I got last time. Was I'm looking down a dark well without a flashlight. And it's like, yeah, it's a deep well. I can see that there's water down there. Anyway, I'm just so excited to be back on my motorcycle, running motorcycle with good tires, a working fan. What's gonna break next? Just give me a week of riding without something breaking. I'm in a great location. I'm outside the motorcycle shop that sold me a next day tire. Great location. I'm 12 miles from this park. So not just that, I talked to the owner of the shop, Morgan. He says there's riding east, west, south, north, wherever you want to go. just a few minutes away, awesome. You know, you want to ride deserts? You want to ride mountains? Do you want to ride mesas? Do you want, you know, what do you want to ride? It's like, it's all here. And it sounds like Montrose, Colorado is a really well kept secret. Apparently, they've got it all. It's not just mountains, it's not just desert, it's the central location of the best riding in Colorado, maybe. Going up, it's kind of hard to see because it's so freaking far away. And my battery's about dead, which is the worst thing. But you can see the road, just don't know if a car is going to be. There's one coming down, and I probably missed him. There's one up there. Going up. Maybe he'll turn the corner before I think this is just one example of the difference between a forest and a park. There's no hunting in a park. That's last time I was here. The most astounding thing was the wildlife just covering everything. And I think I'm even on the wrong side. I think there's the other. I need to look at the map, but I think the other side is where I went. I went all the way down the rim, and I think this is going to go all the way out. But yeah, it's just amazing. You know, they're like pets. You know, just like squirrels. Don't seem to give a damn. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. So I am in the Curacanti National Recreation Area. It's basically the north rim of the Black Canyon. I'm just not in the park, and that's where I came in earlier. I was hoping to cross at Cimarron, and obviously they've got a path to cross there, but that's the dam, and I was down below. They closed the road up to the dam, so came through so early in the morning that there were big critters everywhere, and I may add some of that footage to this video. But it's just beautiful out here. So day one in Montrose. I'm loving life today because I got a new tire on my motorcycle. Turns out I didn't really need the new tire. The cut on the sidewall, it's deeper than I would feel comfortable riding on, but the real problem was not the sidewall puncture in the tube and tire. It was yet another torn valve stem. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing wrong, but I asked the guys at the shop. This is the shop over here. It's Highland Cycles. These guys are awesome. But lots of great advice from them today. And one of the pieces of advice is don't tighten down the top nut on the valve stem. Just leave the nut on there. And I think I'm going to try that because I don't think I've gotten 3,000 miles out of this tire, so I think that's I'm just going to take that advice just because shit. I mean, how many valve stems have you lost in your life? I mean, I've lost 2 in the last 3 months, 2.5 months, maybe 2 months. Anyway, just an update from Montrose. I love this town. This is kind of a crappy lot that I'm on. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about it except I have permission to be here, and if the lawman comes up and doesn't like me being here, it's private property. I've got permission, so that's kind of unique in a downtown city situation like this. I've got blazing fast internet off of my phone. The temperatures are perfect. I mean, I think it was like 60 degrees when I got up this morning. It was just awesome. And it probably gets colder than that up there in the mountains today, but I went up for a ride in the Black Canyon again. I think initially I was on the North Rim, rode down the North Rim, which was spectacular. This is a much shorter trip today, and I'm pretty sure I came up here last time. I'm almost positive of it. Just didn't spend that much time there because I couldn't get down in the canyon. But went down the canyon today. I'll share that with you later. But what I wanted to share today is not only, hey, I'm going to be in Montrose for a few days, hopefully, and show you this video of me actually using the rear of the bus as a garage, not just to park the vehicle, but to actually work on it. I had my ass hanging out of it because it was easier to put the tire on. I could have done it all on the inside. It would have been much harder because I had to crawl back and forth over the bed and probably get everything greasy. And anyway, it worked out really well working out of the back of the bus. And the only downside is I got 5 or 6 flies in there because I had the doors open for an hour probably. But anyway, I highly recommend working outside of a shop. That new tire I put on there is a big block, and it's so freaking hard. My little spoons wouldn't. They were laughing at it because it was just like I was just popping the spoons out. Couldn't hold on to them. Couldn't make the damn thing move. Finally gave up and went inside. They let me use their tools, their mounting stand. Gave me a finger full of grease that all my tools, my big spoons that I had in the bus were bolted down below my bike. I can't take the bike off the jack stand because it has no wheel on it, and I would have to muscle the bike. No, it just wasn't going to happen. So I borrowed their tools, their grease, all of which I had, but under the bus or under the bed at the rear of the bus. Anyway, great day of riding, success on the tire. Please join me next time when I take the motorcycle over Engineer Pass, a rugged mountain range that's mostly accessible by motorcycles and four-wheel drive vehicles. It's pretty rugged, and I've also got some cool motorcycle stuff coming up in the future, so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell button on the subscribe button so you can get notifications when I release new videos.